This is Second Act Sessions with Stephanie Carmody, a podcast celebrating second acts in life about embracing change, questioning the status quo, and having conversations that really matter. If I've learned anything, it's that your second act is yours to define. No matter what chapter you're in, your second act can be the most powerful yet. Welcome to Second Act Sessions. Well, welcome, Dana. I'm so excited to have you on today. As I mentioned in the intro, Dana, you and I met years ago when I was in my wedding planning days. I had my own event planning business. I still do. Haven't done any weddings in a while, though. But we met because you did hair and makeup in the wedding industry. And so I just think it's so funny how we've kind of come full circle. Like obviously we're friends on social. We've kept in touch through social, but I haven't really worked with you or seen you in years. Yeah. And then now I see on social that you are a life coach, correct?
Life and leadership coach.
And leadership coach. And I'm laughing because here I am now. I'm not doing wedding planning. I have my own podcast and I'm just so excited to have you on. I'm looking forward to hearing your story and your journey. So I guess let's go back to when we met. Like you said, I said you were doing hair and makeup and you had and still have your own business. Yes. So how long did you do that? And then what, I guess, was the turning point for you to say, you know what, I think I want to do something else?
Okay. So I've been in the beauty industry for 34 years.
34 years, wow.
I had my own salon and spa for about 32 of those 34 years. So I started out pretty much right from the get-go.
Right.
When I wanted to become a mom, I wanted to work from home. So I started out with my own thing and then created the company and then created the wedding business along with the hair salon and spa piece.
Right.
So it was always happening at the same time. So it was a slow evolution of that. Excuse me. So yeah, I actually, the reality and on paper just got out of the hair salon industry a year ago. Okay. Just over a year ago.
Okay.
And the wedding piece of the business, our traveling hair and makeup team, still is present. Okay. I call it sharing the baton right now to pass the business on to somebody else. Okay. But because we book weddings so far in advance, we are sharing that. She's doing the bulk of the work and I'm not doing any more hair and makeup with that.
Got it.
Provided there's no emergency where I need to jump in.
Exactly. And then you're our go-to.
So I'm mentoring her and, just grooming her.
Okay.
I still enjoy it though. So will I let it go fully in 2026? Maybe not.
Keep a few clients on the side, right?
You know what? It's fun. Yeah. We share all of it in terms of, it's my business, but I'm still, pretty much trying to be hands off so that she feels really ready and she's fantastic.
Oh, so that's great. That's great.
So I'm still have a little bit of a hand in that, but, the transition for me to go into coaching, I think, was such a natural thing, especially as a business owner, particularly in the beauty industry. Because number one, you're a trusted advisor, pseudo-therapist as a hairdresser, right?
That is very true. Right? I mean, whenever I go to my hair stylist, I mean, it's like you like just share your world practically, with them. I don't know, it's a release.
Well, it's a thing, but my theory about that truly is that we are in a position where we are in someone's personal space almost as much as their doctor is.
True.
We are touching people in areas and in ways that most people do not. So it breaks down that barrier. People feel less vulnerable and they're willing to share. And it's relaxing. Right, exactly. I mean, who doesn't love a good massage on their head, right? Exactly.
So, or looking beautiful as the end result, right?
Yeah, so all of that, right? So, and you're a captive audience. Right. So there's that piece of it, that you have that relationship with your clients, but also as a business owner and a boss, I am teaching, training, mentoring, grooming other women in the business. And, one of the pieces of being in the salon industry is that people come and people go.
Right.
And I found that probably it was kind of twofold, probably about 8 years ago, I was not feeling great in my leadership role. I wasn't feeling, it wasn't working. Things were just not working. Okay. And my go-to is like, I need to be a better leader. What am I not doing? What am I doing wrong? What do I need to start doing? What do I need to stop doing? Right. What do I need to do better? So I saw this thing pop up.
Always, as it happens, right?
As it happened. Always. And I was intrigued. So I went for this what I thought was just leadership training, which turned out to be leadership training, coaching, mentoring, whole big thing with, I don't know if anybody, who's listening has ever heard of John Maxwell, but he is the leadership guru internationally. And it just happened to be that that's where I landed.
Wow.
And bells and whistles were going off for me.
Okay.
It just was very aligned with who I was and what I believed, and I've always been in the personal development role in my head my entire life.
Right.
So it sparked me to want to do more and look more into the coaching piece of that. Okay. And the hair and makeup artistic piece of that, although I love and loved, my flame was kind of dimming in that area. It wasn't bringing me as much joy.
I was just going to say joy.
Yeah, the joy that I had in the transformation piece and how people were feeling will never change.
Right.
When somebody feels good about themselves, it just, that's just everything.
Absolutely.
But I found that I was getting more joy out of developing people so that they can create their own pieces of joy,
Exactly.
like working with my staff and trying to bring out the best in them so they could go off and build their own businesses. Right. That was the whole point. I considered myself a launch pad. And if people stayed, they stayed.
Right.
And it's hard when somebody leaves, because just of the logistics of the business. Right. But at the end of the day, if they are going to go off and start their own thing, I was getting really jazzed about that. So I'm like, yeah, so I need to make the switch, but dragging my feet because it's hard.
It's new.
It's new. It's hard. Am I going to be good at that? All the things.
All the self-doubt, always.
Can I reinvent myself?
Story of my life.
Yeah, can I reinvent myself at this age?
Right.
And at the time, I was in my early 50s. So,
and how many years ago was this when you were considering?
This was like 8 years ago.
Okay, 8
years
ago.
8 years ago. So I'm thinking, all right, well, I got plenty of time, right? So I'm just gonna, but I need to not just smack everybody with, hey, guess what? I'm out. I'm done. Clients, the whole thing.
Right.
So
slow build.
slow build. COVID came with, and it was planned in my mind to change everybody over to chair renters so that I was no longer managing their little businesses.
Right.
They could do that. So that was my step for them. And then, it just came to a point a little over a year ago where really I was dragging my feet and an opportunity came up for me to make the switch.
Wow.
And I was like, okay, here it is.
Now, what's that opportunity? What was the opportunity?
To get out of the salon business entirely, like close the salon.
Got it.
And focus on coaching 100%, which is what I wanted to do, but I was
You kind of need that little push in a way, right?
Did.
Like I think we all do, because I know I certainly do, because like I mentioned on previous episodes, I've been talking about doing a podcast for years now, 3 years, like as I was post-divorce and healing. And I was like never quite ready. It wasn't the right time because I don't think I was ready, right? Like I needed that extra push. And so the beginning of this year, I was like, I'm just ripping the Band-Aid off.
Yeah.
I can't keep putting it off anymore.
Right.
Just
and
have to take a chance. Exactly.
And why?
What's the worst that can happen? All right, I suck and it fails. I mean, all right, so I'll do something else.
Just do other things.
Right.
Like whatever.
I know.
We just,
exactly.
I just keep swimming.
Yeah, exactly. Keep treading the water and I'll get there eventually. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
So then do me a favor, because I feel like I have heard of life coaches and we all have, but can you really explain to me what is a life coach? And you mentioned life and leadership coach.
Right.
So what is that exactly? What does that entail? And how does that differ from other forms of help, whether it's therapy or, someone has like a mentor? I mean, how does that fall into all of that? I guess more of that self-help realm.
Sure. So I will try to be eloquent enough with this because they are all different.
Right.
So I'll speak to the second part of that question first. What is the difference between coaching and everything else?
Yes. Okay.
So coaching versus therapy. Okay. Therapists are diagnosticians. We don't diagnose.
Right.
They deal with a lot of trauma, past trauma and healing trauma.
Right.
As well as maintaining and helping people manage mental health issues, larger mental health issues such as trauma and other diagnoses. We don't do that.
Right.
Okay. Coaching is not a one-directional type relationship, much like mentoring is as well. It's a collaboration. It's a partnership. We partner with our clients to help them create things from the present and the future not necessarily the
Past, okay.
like the therapy piece.
Okay.
So coaching, the focus is more goal driven. We have, in the type of training that I've done, and I keep saying we because I think about the training that I've gone through. So right now it's just me and my business.
Right.
And I intend to keep it that way. There's a soul line of coaching and a goal line of coaching.
Okay.
So I guess when we talk about the leadership piece, that will be the goal line a lot of times. The soul line is like the inner work.
Right.
Which it actually is a lot of that in leadership. It's a lot about how we show up as people and as leaders, and how we manage our team is all about who we are as well, and how we conduct ourselves and all that. So, coaching is very much goal-oriented, present and future-oriented to create the life that you want. Where therapy is, again, just helping you to heal to get to that space. Mentoring is generally, I would say, that's a different, that's very, very, very tactile in the ways of, follow me, let me show you the way.
Right. I'm the expert.
I do than you do. I
Right.
do than you do.
Okay.
It's a lot like parenting, leading by example and giving them, steps. So it's similar to coaching in some ways, but not quite as much.
So then what are your clients coming to you for help with? So life and leadership coaching.
Yes.
What are some of your clients coming to you for? Is it because they want to start a new business, or are they navigating life after divorce and don't know which direction to take moving forward? Or does it run the gamut? I mean, what would you say are like kind of the clients that are coming towards you?
Sure. So the leadership piece is the small businesses and working with themselves, working with their teams, team culture, management, and how do I be a better leader? That's where I started with all of this. I'm sorry, I keep hitting your mic.
It's fine. No worries.
I'm a hand talker.
Lost my phone somewhere too. I don't know where that went.
Yeah, I'm a hand talker. So
I am too. That's why.
So my hands are like flailing.
It's all good. It's all good on this podcast.
So leadership coaching kind of speaks for itself.
Okay.
Right? How do you maintain your leadership and become a better leader, as well as how do you teach within your company, big or small? I mostly deal with small businesses, but big or small.
Are you using the same technique though for leadership coaching with everyone? Is it the same sort of protocol, or do you adapt it based on their business?
Well, it depends on what their goals are and
Okay.
what their
Everyone's
needs are.
goals are
And then it
different.
really depends mostly on kind of what shows up during the coaching.
Okay.
And so with regards to the life coach, it's a huge umbrella. And I decided I had different focuses and niches with the business.
So you're more selective
I was like
then.
positivity and mindset. Like I wasn't sure where I was going. Transitions is a huge part of it. I myself have been through divorce. I've actually been through divorce twice, unfortunately.
Oh my God. So you are an expert then.
I don't know about that, but and I've experienced it it was I who chose the first time, and it was not I who chose the second time.
Interesting.
And I've raised kids, and I've I've been through many life transitions. So those are a lot of the people that come to me.
Right. Like I would probably be coming to you if I needed a life coach, because I'm definitely,
It would be somebody to just help with next steps. How do I change is hard.
Yes.
Change is really hard. And I experienced that in the business transition with my staff.
Right.
And then it was glaring, sure. So, and it deals with everything. So my clients are families of parents who are aging and needing to move on. It is people in and out of relationships, post, during, after, predominantly women in that area that I end up working with. And it is young people.
Really?
Like it's great. Budding entrepreneurs or not sure where they want to be, who are maybe, younger than both you and I pre that transition, but really want to set themselves up, or are just generally kind of stuck thinking, I don't know what the heck I want to do.
Do you help them kind of map it out in a lot of ways? Like, okay, these are your goals. This is how we get there. And you should, and like, so say someone has, I want to do this, and that within this business, but I don't know how to do it all. Do you help them maybe like focus and say, you know what, you should probably focus on these two, and we could do X, Y, and Z within that? Like, do you know what I mean? Do you help like set parameters for people?
If that's what they're asking of me.
Got it. Okay.
I can help them with that.
Okay.
One of the things that I have learned and found through coaching, the more and more I get, deeper and deeper into it, because I also, like you, decided to focus full time this year, although I've been doing it for 4 or 5 years now. And one thing that I'm really learning is, it sounds cliche, but the answers to what people really want and need to do are really just in them.
In them, exactly. They just have to know it and believe it.
Tell people what to do. I really, the joy that I'm finding now is helping them realize that they have the answers. They just didn't have the key to unlock them.
Right.
And so that's what I consider to be the real work, both in leadership and in any form of life coaching, be it transitions, be it divorce, be it, you know, business-wise. Any type of stuckness, any of that has to do with just unlocking what's already in there, but sometimes we just don't know how to access it.
It's true. Or we don't believe it, or we don't believe in ourselves enough to embrace it, to say, you know what, I can do this. Because I think even within myself, I'm doing a podcast and I'm learning as I go, and it's frightening, don't get me wrong, but I'm also like, I don't even know sometimes where I'm headed with it. I know what I want to do, and I'm like, okay, you know what? All I can do is take it day by day and then see, you know, what comes of it and how it blossoms and grows. So
and do you need to know where you're going with it? That's the thing. You
exactly.
know, you get that angst of, what am I going to do? And what if? And all the questions. It's like, why do we? This is today's episode.
Right. Let's not get carried away. Let's not get too ahead.
And paste, you know, as you mentioned. So we get all hung up in the how of things. And, you know, that's why I think coaching is so valuable, is you don't need to know how. The how happens. Right. You know, it's the what do you want, figuring that out. But like you said, you know, once you all of a sudden get all these fears, you need the awareness first.
Right.
What is the what?
Right.
What's the what? And then once you realize it, and then I help you figure out the how and the pace and potentially the steps, and or what other resources besides me, who else might you need, who's standing in the way, what have you, and what are your things that are standing in the way, which is 90% of it. That's what I love, is the discovery of who you just really, really are, without the woo-woo piece of that. Like what's really meant for you, because it's already there. You don't have to reinvent the wheel.
It is, and I think we already know deep down what we're meant to do. We just have to take the time to really go inward, I think, and listen to ourselves and what makes us happy, what brings us joy, right? Like I was doing an episode even last week, and we finished, and I was like, oh my God, that was such a great episode. Like I was so excited. Like, you know, you have that feeling, like this is what I'm meant to do. And like, that's so rare, I feel like, you know, to find that, or maybe a lot of people don't realize that that's what you should have, right? Like whatever you do in life, you should have joy. Because I always feel like if you love what you're doing, it doesn't really feel like a job, right? Like
and I was spoiled in the job that I had for all those years. Is when I started, my joy started to dim. I was like, well, this is not good enough.
It's time for your second or third act, right?
I'm so spoiled. Like this isn't good enough. I want to be happy. It's not just going to be a job. You know?
Exactly. So we spoke about the leadership piece. Now, if we go back to the life coaching element, you said it can really walk from all walks of life, right? Like it could be someone who's navigating a divorce or loss of a child even, or new career. What are some of those clients of yours who are navigating that? And do you have like mostly women, female clients?
I tend to.
Okay.
It's interesting how over the last year and a half or so, I have this small little niche of younger gentlemen, and I'll say from like at the end of high school going into college age to like mid-30s.
Interesting.
Who have come with challenges, and it's all within that executive functioning piece. You know, finding the job, not sure how, that whole, and actually even in more like midlife and past, being passed over for a job, or, you know, that whole piece, and what COVID did with a lot of that. So
that's interesting.
But my preference is to work mostly with women.
Because it's familiar and
I don't know. I enjoy it more.
There you go.
I just enjoy it more for whatever reason.
Right. Okay.
And I'm at this stage in my career. I choose my clients and they choose me at the same time.
That's great.
It's a matter of, are we the right fit?
Right.
So, so when you say, what is that client? She's female. If I were to say, what is my client avatar? If I were to choose the perfect
what
client.
does she look like and what's her age?
I don't go down to like, where does she shop? Where does she eat kind of client?
Right.
That's, guys, I don't market that way either.
No.
So it's not that. But, I prefer, I work with women, I would say anywhere from 35 to 70 is about the, because that's when transitions tend to really happen.
Well, exactly.
They tend to really happen, be they by choice or by happenstance. So, and anything in that realm. But when it comes to someone who is just not happy with their life and they want to make a difference, someone who's motivated for change, throw out the rest of those details. I don't care if you're male, female, 35 or 5.
Right.
Like if you're motivated
and willing to take action and do the work.
willing to take action and willing to be self-aware, I got you.
That's amazing. And now how long do you work with your clients? Is there like a protocol in place and you do a certain amount of weeks, or is it as needed for as long as they need? Like what is your protocol, I guess?
B.
Okay.
I offer a few different packages.
Okay.
As long as it takes.
Got it.
It's not a race.
Okay.
It's not a race. In fact, it's to slow everything down in the beginning because we're so quick to want the result.
Yes.
But is the result a Band-Aid? Is it just, we talk about bridging, I talk about bridging, the what you want to the what you want, like what you've got here, your present reality to what you really want.
And how do you get there?
There's that gap that we, that I try to bridge.
Right.
Basically. But it's not a race. I mean, it's not necessarily a cement bridge. I mean, there could be a turn and it's like, oh, maybe not.
So you have clients from all ages, mostly women, some men. What are you seeing within the industry of like life coaching in general? Are you seeing, I feel like you go on social, like everyone wants to be a life coach, but are they really good? Like, are they certified? Like, what are you seeing within the field of life coaching? Are you seeing so many more life coaches pop up and there's some good ones and some bad ones? Or do they all have different niches, so to speak, right? And they may suit someone who wants to focus on X, but then you might be a better resource for someone who has some other goals that they want to achieve.
Yeah, absolutely. So to speak to that piece of it, I think it's just like any other job. It's just like engineers. It's just like doctors. Everybody has their specialty per se.
Yes.
Can we, really cross over things like a general practitioner? Sure. But generally things fall into certain categories for most people. So are there people in all facets? Yes. Are there different types of life coaches? Are there some good, some bad? Yes. I wouldn't be one to judge based upon what I see.
Right. Okay.
Or even what I hear. My judge would be my experience with somebody.
Right.
If they help me to get the results that I want, I would consider them good.
And then you would probably be the one to refer that person to another person,
Correct.
right? Because I feel like people, whether it's a chiropractor or a life coach, a lot of times you always want to work with someone who's like, oh, I work with this amazing life coach. You should reach out to her. She's amazing. Yeah, she really helped me. I feel like a lot of that is personal testimony, right?
It's absolutely that, because even your experience with someone who might be phenomenal.
Right.
Might be different than my experience.
Right, exactly.
I might just not vibe with them, just like picking friends sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. We shouldn't be friends with everybody.
Or a therapist for that matter.
Right.
So yeah, there are coaches out there that you see on social media, like in any other industry, who are out just to make money.
Yes.
And they're pumping out the numbers, and they're coaching coaches. So they're developing programs that are online, so there's that whole segment, which is a business in and of itself. And if it works for people, then great.
Right.
But my experience is, really sitting down. It's a person, it's a match. It's more personal than that. Telehealth has its...
Yes.
It has its great niche as well. It served a great purpose during COVID. And I think for a lot of people, if that works, that's awesome. Do I still think you need to get in and get a physical? Absolutely. I think you need to be seen in person. Like you need your baseline. You need to check up all those things. I think for me, my preference in coaching, even I will see clients on Zoom. I don't care to have a phone call. I don't love that.
Yeah, you want to
I mean,
see them.
maybe in like the intro call.
Right.
Which is fine. I definitely prefer in person, although some of my clients aren't local.
So I was going to ask, what percentage, I guess, of your clients are local versus how much are virtual? And do you have some clients who are virtual or from like all over the country, or is it more,
Yeah,
okay.
I've had that. Yeah.
That's great.
And and even one that was over the pond, as they say. So,
oh, how nice. Okay.
Yeah. So I haven't worked a lot international, but nonetheless, it works really well.
Yeah.
I've had telehealth, like for a therapist
Right.
in the past, and even for coaching. In fact, the coaches that I work with right now are across the country.
And when you say you work with coaches, did you work with them for yourself,
yeah.
as you were navigating
100%.
divorce?
Oh, I started 8 years ago when I went to the John Maxwell training and thereafter.
Okay.
As in anything that I feel that I've ever done, I need to see it. Like, I got to be the customer.
Right.
I
Okay.
have to be the client. I have to experience it from this side to know, and I consistently do that. I always did that as a hairstyle, like everything. I need to put
Interesting.
myself in my service.
Right. So have you
So
used any of the things that you've learned that you help with others, and you've learned that, use that on yourself then, so to speak, right? Like to help you
100%.
navigate whatever it was,
100%,
right?
You know,
that's
because
cool.
it's brilliant.
Right,
You know,
right.
so I started out like, let me see what this is like. Let me see how I feel being coached. So I had a life coach at first, and I've had a business coach, and now I have both, kind of combined into one.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I wouldn't go without a coach if I want to be better.
Right.
I'm not going to coach myself. Can't coach yourself. It's really hard. I
Right.
mean, you can guide yourself and follow through and
Right.
and motivate yourself.
Yeah. So even now, as you are sitting here, a life coach, you still have a life coach that you work for to help you.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%.
It's amazing.
Well, it's really not. It's like kind of normal, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I explain this like all presidents. Tom Brady had a coach. I mean, how would he work without a coach? I don't think so.
Exactly.
Like you need that second set of eyes, second
Yep.
set of ears. You need
Even just a
motivation.
support, right?
You need
Or like,
support,
you know?
and somebody who's tweaking.
Yeah.
Even when I don't know, I have always been into going to the gym and things like that. And as I matured and things got a little wonky here and there, I had frozen shoulder. And
Oh,
then
yeah,
you
I've had
break
that.
your wrist and
yeah.
all these things.
It's so much fun.
I switched up my routine to going to a personal trainer, and I went to a small group, and I was like, things are getting a little twerky. Not twerky. That's a whole different subject. A little tweaky. Not that.
You're so funny.
Right?
That's okay.
A little weird. Anyway, and I'm like, I need to dial in to that level of detail. I want an experienced coach,
Yep.
eyes on, and micro movements in my workout.
Right.
So
right.
that I don't continue to hurt myself and I
Right.
keep my strength and all that.
Right.
And so it's the same thing.
Right.
It's the same thing. Like I can't see that and fix that myself, or
Right.
or I might not see the blind spot. And
right.
that's a lot getting back to the fears and the self-awareness. We all have blind spots.
Right. We do.
And we're not going to drag it out of ourselves most of the time.
No, we're just going to sit and
Because
we're comfortable
it's just
with
who
this.
We are.
Exactly.
It's just how we are.
Yes,
and then
so
when
we know.
someone who's got your best interest at heart and
May call you out.
yeah, and say like, I see an opportunity right here, like something's
Right.
going on. Yeah, I actually had that happen with me recently.
Wow. Recently. Wow.
Yeah, with a coach.
Interesting.
And I had a major blind spot, and I'm like, I don't
Really?
even know what you're speaking of. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't even understand what you're saying. And within less than a day,
It clicked.
It just blew up, and it was just like, oh my God.
So I think it's great that they can be so much more objective, right? And looking in
yeah.
at you. Like,
Yeah.
like if it's family or friends, you can't be objective. Sometimes it helps to have like a third party,
Yeah.
right?
And then you can't unsee it.
Right.
And there it is. So somebody else had my key. Somebody else had my key.
Interesting.
And then I was like, holy Lord, like,
Right.
wow, that's
Wow.
amazing. It was painful and hard. And then
Of
it was
course.
like,
Okay, I'll work through this
awesome.
now. Right.
I was so excited.
Because then you can like release
then
it and
you
get
can-
past it.
Yes,
right?
yes.
And then it opens up
And
so many
it's
more
like,
opportunities.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What is that holding me back from?
It's making me sit here going, I have to work with you.
I know. It's like, I'm like, oh my God, that's actually gone. Like, how easy was that? But
Right.
it's not. It's not. So yes, to the point of, I think everybody could use a coach at one time or another. Do they need coaching for years?
Right.
Not necessarily. I did a presentation for a networking group that I'm in 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
And I did it kind of like a reverse interview. Instead of me just presenting about the business, I said, what do you want to hear?
Right.
What are the questions you want to hear?
Right.
And one of them that I actually sent to you was positioned by a woman in the group. She's an attorney, really bright, really together, who said her question was basically, I consider myself an otherwise well-balanced human being. Why would I need a coach?
Right.
And I said, that's really simple, in the moments when you might not feel well balanced. Maybe you just need a wellness check. Maybe you need somebody to pump you up one day. Maybe you just need a consultant. Like, I'm feeling good. Right. What am I missing? Right. Am I missing something?
Right.
Because everybody needs someone. We're not meant to do this alone.
No, human beings are not.
We're not meant to not be connected.
We're social beings.
It doesn't mean you have to love that part.
Right.
But if I actually said this, I've got this group community coming up that I'm putting together with another coaching friend.
Oh, great.
And we're figuring out kind of our closing on it. And I'm kind of excited. And we were figuring out a nice closing quote. And I quoted it this morning in my networking group. I'm like, if you want to go far, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go with others.
Right.
Go together.
That's really interesting because I feel like, in my experience, I've always worked in teams. In public relations, it was a team. I managed a team. Yeah. And then I just feel like I personally work better with others. So doing a podcast on my own, while I love it, it's not natural for me because I love people and I love being around people. So I guess like I'm interviewing people, but I'm doing the business piece by myself. So as I'm sitting here, I'm like, yeah, you know what? Having like a life coach to even just kind of be not like a partner, but be there just to either support or encourage or just like, yes, no, you're not crazy. That makes sense. You should do that. Or, let's talk that through. Like, I feel like that would be invaluable for someone like me, as in assuming so many of your other clients, right? Who just maybe need like that little like support or shove or motivation or encouragement.
Yeah. Or just that up leveling sometimes.
Yes.
You may, just in your position, just as an example, you may say, all right, I'm meeting with this person. There's something I'm just not totally thrilled with my approach. Is there anything? And it might be the wording of a question.
Right.
Depending on what I'm sure you're asking a question with an answer somewhat in mind that you're hoping to hear.
Right, exactly.
For your audience or for yourself.
Right.
And sometimes the wording might just change that enough that you'll get somebody to open up a little bit better.
Right.
I mean, that's the nuances of coaching.
Right.
It's
That's
just
great.
how you're wording things or how your perspective as to whether you're going in the front door or are you going in the side door with something where people feel less defensive and
That's very true.
more open.
So then with your clients, how often, I know we talked about they could see you as long as they want, but do you normally suggest like speaking to them once a week or is it as needed, or what do you find most, I guess, valuable for your clients as far as the regularity of when they interact with you?
Biweekly.
My
clients I have set up as every other week and 90 minutes, 75 to 90 minutes.
Got it. Okay.
An hour is just sometimes not enough. If they only have an hour, but I don't book myself on the hour.
Okay.
I just have felt, and being on the receiving end of that, there's sometimes when, what's top of mind that you want to work on that day, you really kind of just get into the meat of it.
And then the session's over and you're like, come on, I got to wait for another week or 2 weeks.
Hard.
Yeah, it's frustrating.
To shut that down.
Yes.
You're crying or you're excited, whatever. And then it's like, well,
time's up.
We've got about 4 minutes. And it's like, are you kidding me?
I know.
I don't even have the option. I'll pay you more. Like,
do you have an extra half hour for me? It's so true.
So that's one of the things that it's a process, and I want to be there through that. And I think 90 minutes. Sometimes, I always we always end up going there.
Right.
You
Okay.
know, and I'm comfortable with that.
Okay.
You know, I'm in service mode.
Right. Whatever they need to help them, you're willing to do
so
that.
this is my second act or third act or whatever.
That's what I say. I'm like, second act, it could be a third or fourth act. Whatever, right?
I'm in this act because who knows?
Exactly.
I may have another in the tank. I don't know. But I'm loving this one. But yeah.
Oh, good. Good for you.
So yeah, that's how I like to pace it.
Okay.
But the life and leadership piece, you know, if I want to smash it all together, and it's just really, you know, you could literally say, you know, how are you leading yourself? Mm-hmm. How do you want to lead? How do you want to be thought of? What's that feeling you want to leave behind? Mm-hmm. How do you want to feel about you? Mm-hmm. And you know, carpe diem. You want to like live in the moment, which we don't know how to do.
No,
especially in this country, we don't know how to do. So it's really just learning how to be more present and make the most out of what you've got, and you deserve that. So it's the self-esteem, self-worth,
self-confidence,
empowerment, and without it being woo-woo, it's the real thing.
Right.
Like
exactly.
What are your speed bumps? What's your stumbling block? What's in the way? Can you clear it?
Right.
You know, can we clear that for real? And do you, I hate to say this, but do you feel like you deserve it? And that's a place to
feeling
start.
worthy. A lot of people don't feel worthy.
And they don't know that they don't. They don't realize that, you know, that the actions that they're not taking or the steps to even get somebody to even take a look at that with them and to actually enter into coaching. They don't even realize.
But then is that when you would say, you know what you would benefit from then is you need to really also on the side speak to a therapist, or are these people coming to you who already have done therapy, so to speak, and already are aware of their issues, trauma, and all of that? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, because I'm assuming some of that does play a role, but if it's not, if they haven't addressed that, is that when you would be like, because you don't handle all of that, obviously you're not a therapist.
I don't. If I feel like something is out of my realm, I'm going to speak to it right away. I think most of my clients have either been in therapy and
so
felt
done
like they
most
got
of the
what
work.
they needed, or they're in therapy while they're in coaching with me because their therapist is like, I think you need this.
Interesting.
Because they don't do what we do. It's not only that we can't do what they do in certain aspects, but they're not really meant to tell people
exactly
and give them the steps.
Right.
You know, like those sort of things, if that's the nuts and bolts of what we need to do. So we couple it together.
That's great. I mean, because I think that makes a lot of sense to me, and I'm assuming to my listeners, because like I said, it's everyone's like, well, therapy and then life coach and this, and I feel like if you're working with a therapist, they're helping you with the trauma and whatnot, but then your life coach will say, okay, now that you've done that work, how do we put that in action, right? And how do we then create your new life or navigate this second act, right? Knowing all of this that you've dealt with and healed from or are healing from.
Yeah, and the practical example of that is a client that I've worked with that has had some emotional things and some traumas and some things, and was in a present situation that she was looking to get through and out of, and struggling with the guilt and the steps and all the manipulations of that. And so she also had a therapist at the time, and then brought me in for that middle piece, and now is on the other side of that, uncoupling, as Gwyneth says, right?
Right, uncoupling,
and moving on. And then now that can lead to that transition is behind her. So now it's like, it's like a whole new world,
Which is also quite frightening.
It's like, okay, now what? Like
now it's like, whoa, exactly.
Right? It's exciting and intimidating.
It is, yes.
And so then it's the whole other. So does she need the therapist anymore? I don't, maybe that's on hold. I'm making an assumption.
Or as needed.
I have no right to make.
Right.
I don't even know.
Right.
But on the other hand, it's like, oh my God, now, and because we've walked this path together, and hand in hand with her therapist, then I can take her the rest of the way, if you will.
Right.
But again, it's what she feels like she needs at the time.
Right.
So yeah, we couple and collaborate with their therapists and whatnot.
That makes sense. I like that. So I have a personal question for you, but so now you mentioned you were 2 divorces.
Yes.
I don't know the timing of it or anything like that. So then what advice would you give to your, I guess, older self navigating it then as a life coach now? Like, what are some tips?
To my younger self?
Yes. Like, what are some tips or I don't know, like sage sound advice you would have given yourself knowing what you know now as a life coach? You know what I'm saying? Like, granted, you're in it going through a divorce, but then coming out of it.
Yeah.
Like, what have you learned or applied or?
It probably sounds so cliche.
No, I don't care.
But just be in the ride. Like I wouldn't change anything. I still get really teared up and emotional when I picture Dana at that time and what I went through and what we went through. It was hard on both sides, right? I'm very amicable with both of my ex-husbands.
That's
One
great.
of them, we were married for 18 years, 10 years of marriage counseling, couldn't put a square peg in a round hole.
Yeah,
right?
you just were not a good fit. I mean, it is what it is sometimes,
Correct.
right?
So, and so that's where my children came from.
Okay.
And, we've co-parented all these years and it's been wonderful.
Do you get along better now, divorced, in a way?
We don't really need to, my kids are 32 and 30.
Oh, yeah, they're older,
so we
right.
don't really have much interaction.
Yeah.
But we didn't not get along. It just wasn't what I wanted.
Right.
It wasn't just what I pictured and all the things. So
I think my ex was the same way, square peg, round hole.
yeah,
like,
it just
wasn't the right
I think
fit.
I'll speak for myself that I just grew out of that. So, and then the second divorce, just to your point, that separation was 8 years ago.
Interesting.
Coincidentally.
Wait, did that have anything to do with at the time? No, that you wanted to be a life coach.
I started that. I went to the John Maxwell training in January and separated in July.
Wow.
And I'll tell you that having that, just on the personal side, having that behind me, because John Maxwell was also a very faithful man. He was a preacher, son of a preacher, and all the things.
I love that.
So it brought me back to that. And if I hadn't brought back some of that foundation for myself, I would have been a bigger mess.
Right.
So anyway, so advice going backwards, right? I wouldn't do anything differently because
It got you to where you are
so
today,
much
right?
happier with who I am
Yes,
now.
likewise.
And so much. Would I have planned my life if I was a little girl? No, I was, good little Catholic girl. I went to Catholic school. I was going to get married and have the forever
babies.
thing and the picket fence and all the things.
We all are like that. I just spoke about that the other day.
I would love that, but I love my life too.
Right.
I love my life too. I'm in a relationship and I have been for years now. And,
great.
It's a long distance one, so I still get to
kind of nice.
I love it.
That's kind of like the best of both worlds.
Yeah, I mean, I have my time. He has his time. He's got his kids, and blah, blah, blah. So, I would just say, be open, be accepting, and, be gentle with yourself.
Yeah.
You didn't do anything wrong.
Right.
Because whatever happened, if
happened
it
for a
wasn't your
reason.
favorite behavior on either side or even at work or whatever the situation is,
Right.
it happened for a reason and it's all for your growth.
Yeah, absolutely. I think everything does happen for a reason. And I'm also, my faith is very important to me. I mean, obviously it sounds like you've reconnected with your faith. And to your point, if I didn't have God, I don't know how I would have survived my divorce. Yeah. I really don't. I think I would be in fetal position still in the corner somewhere because it was just so hard for me. I didn't see it coming. It wasn't,
Yeah, same.
He had his issues, I had my issues. We weren't meant to be together, but we didn't actively talk about divorce or anything like that. So when that happened, it was I think that whole first year I was in complete shock, going through the motions, living my life, thinking everything's great. But I look back and I was I was just going through the motions. I was in shock.
Blind spot.
Well, there you go. That would have been a blind spot. You're right. Yeah.
And that's survival, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, it sounds very similar. So
we'll have to talk offline.
You do need to catch up on the personal side. And that whole thing about, what we were just saying. I just lost what we were just saying about, everything happens for a reason. It sounds cliche.
It does.
But it's because it's so true.
It is.
It is everything you go through, as hard as it may be, is all for your growth.
Always.
It's the hardest thing to accept in that realm. And sometimes I will say that I truly believe that this is the exception to that rule is grief. The loss of someone. You don't necessarily find the reason for that. And it's okay not to. There might not be.
Right. Right.
With regards to you and your journey.
Right.
Maybe not that person's.
Exactly.
So don't try to grapple with that. And don't try to ration that.
No.
You know, that one stands alone.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
That's
I agree
an
with that.
exception.
So then, what advice would you give to someone who's considering, you know what, I think I might need to work with a life coach? Like, what would you say to someone considering that? And like, I guess, what are the criteria? Like, who should be looking for a life coach, right? Or like, for someone who's thinking about it, what makes them a good candidate, I guess, to work with a life coach, or that you would want to take on?
I think everyone's a good, that I would want to take on, or just, you know,
in general,
speaking for them and speaking for people in general. If you're even considering it, then look into it.
Because that means something, you're longing or needing something.
Or maybe you just want to be better at what you do.
Right,
Maybe you don't have a need, you have a want.
Exactly.
So check it out.
Right.
Right?
It can't
check
hurt.
it out. You know, people buy clothes that they don't necessarily need.
And then return
they just
it.
want, and you know, there's no harm.
Right.
More than likely, I'm a little biased to a free consultation. Right? So I'm a little biased to learning about somebody before you dive in and spend money. You know, you should know if they're going to be the right fit.
Right.
Or feel it.
I also
Or
think you have to have the right rapport,
you
personality-wise,
too. Or be
too.
able to back out.
Right.
And figure out what that policy is for yourself, or be willing to just, you know, take the hit. But if you're even considering that you want to just be happier, then look into it. What do you have to lose?
Right.
You have nothing to lose.
No, exactly.
I mean, except again, you can learn that, yeah, I'm good right now, but I like that person and they probably could help me, or maybe they would even refer me to somebody who could tackle this with me because they don't, kind of thing.
Right, exactly.
So that's, in a nutshell, the general public.
Right.
My person, same thing. And with regards to my onboarding system, I literally will do 1, 2, 3 conversations before I, you know, at least 2 before I even consider talking about what does it look like to work with you financially.
Right.
And
Okay.
stuff. I won't even talk about it. It's off the table until we have at least
understand what
1 to 2 90-minute, like, I want to know what the real thing is. And sometimes what you come with isn't necessarily the real project.
The real project or problem or issue that you need to face or get over, or that you can help them with.
Yeah. I mean, and yeah, is it okay to do that in session and let that reveal itself? That's going to happen every single time. It happens every time. But if what's initially there is just bubbling under the surface, you know, let's make sure that you feel 100% about me.
Right.
And that I feel as though I can serve you. And you can't do that in a half-hour phone conversation. No. And I don't want to charge for that either.
Right.
I don't think
that's really nice of you, because like you said, I think a lot of people out there just want to take the money.
Yeah, no.
It's a numbers game, right? Yeah. Number of clients, number of dollars.
Sure.
And then they're not really helping people, I don't feel like. Or how successful are they going to be in helping someone, right? When it's that mentality.
And they will be, if it's a numbers game and they're playing the numbers game, you're going to get so many no's and so many yeses, and you're going to make more money.
Right.
If you do it that way.
Right.
Probably.
Very true.
But are you going to have a sturdy, steady, successful, perpetual business? You know, maybe not. That's only luck. I am not in that mode. I don't choose to work that way. That's
which is really nice, and it's very refreshing, and I appreciate that personally.
I'm not trying to be altruistic about it. It's just
that's how you've seen works best.
That's
for
just what works best for me.
Right.
You know, as well.
Right. So then what are you looking forward to next? I guess this is, you know, I guess we say second or third chapter. You're doing so well in your career. What gets you excited? What are you looking forward to next? Do you have anything on the horizon?
Yeah, actually, I kind of alluded to it earlier. A fellow coach friend of mine, Leanne D'Angelo, and I are putting together a community that was inspired by a thought that I had in January. You know, people do kind of New Year's resolutions and things like that, right? And then people also, the other half of the population, make fun of them, like, oh, you know, whatever, and all the statistics about how people don't stick to them.
Exactly.
So I have a she shed in my backyard.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, so when I bought my home, it was a workshop on the property.
Okay.
I don't need that.
Right.
I don't want that.
Right.
Let's just say I could use it. I have a workbench in my basement, but
right.
it's just, one of those shower conversations in your head, where it was just like, what do people need to shed this time of year?
Right.
So I thought about, maybe I do this, start this thing about like she sheds. What does she need to shed?
I love that.
And then I was like, what does she need to shed light on? Like, we don't have to go with the negative all the time.
Right.
Maybe,
Shed light could be a positive thing.
Yeah. So I started thinking, but I immediately thought, I want to do this by myself because I was an entrepreneur by myself for over 30 years. And I'm like, I don't want to do it alone. I don't.
Yeah.
So I asked my friend, and fast forward, we have our launch on Tuesday, the 3rd.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Yeah, so we've sent out just personal invitations first.
Okay.
We didn't post anything or blast anything because we really want to curate a community of people, of women.
Right.
Particularly, we designated that, of women who are looking for a community and looking for a place that, they can be vulnerable and not judged and share. And we're looking to build this community.
I love
and it's
that.
going to be a series.
Okay.
So,
and is it just like with business women, or is this open to anybody?
Anybody.
Wow. That's
anybody
great.
Who's looking, again, getting back to COVID and what's gone on, even with just with social media and things, we've all gotten into the phones and, the disconnection
Not socializing.
of human beings.
Right, exactly.
So this is an in-person community. So we are not going to have it in person and Zoom. And it's in my she shed.
I love it.
So it's a limited number of people,
Okay.
at least in the beginning. And we're starting out with, we have our first session will be on Tuesday.
And how long will that be for? And
Couple hours.
Couple hours.
We'll see how long it goes.
And is it going to be a
2 hours.
weekly thing, or
it's going to be a monthly
thing? Okay.
Yeah, it's going to be a monthly thing. Although I think we're considering skipping August because
Who's around for August?
yeah, people are just not. But we're going to actually, this particular group that we've started with, or that we are starting with on Tuesday, we're going to ask them, do you want to come in August?
Right. How many people are you opening it to right now?
Right now we have 12 people coming, which is perfect for our launch night.
Right.
We have a few seats available, so we could definitely do more if anybody is interested. So we're kind of putting those feelers out, and then our next session will be in July.
Okay.
And then we're going to go into the fall from there. So it'll be a monthly thing.
So if you start the first month, if someone wanted to join, could they start the second or third month, or doesn't have to be like in sequential order or anything?
No, not at all.
Okay, and is
Not
it different topics each month or something, or like structured?
It's definitely we'll have a structure within, but it's not as if it has to be a compilation. It's not a class,
Right.
Where you missed something. Have you missed a topic? Sure, but can you bring it up? Sure. It's all about what everybody needs. It's almost like it's not a group coaching session.
Okay.
It's not a gripe session or a bitch session.
Okay.
And anything like that.
Okay.
It's really a growth, learning, community, sharing.
That's great.
All the things and just connecting, which is really important. And then, we've got in our minds how we want it to roll out and what we're going to curate down the road with regards to having specific speakers come in. So we're going to have different segments that speak to different people, but it's each month is not going to be specifically around one topic. So we'll have segments of it so that it just encompasses that you can come every month and still get that and get your piece, get your voice in the room.
Right.
And participate and feel the community.
And you can just pay for that monthly session? Is that how it works?
No, there's no pay.
Are you serious?
Not right now.
Oh my God.
Maybe down the road.
That's so lovely.
This is just...
I might need to come.
This is just because we want to serve.
Is there anything else I didn't ask you that you wanted to mention? Because I know we covered quite a bit. I'll also make sure we share with everyone how they can reach you.
Yeah,
I know you're revamping your website. You're on social media. Yep. What is the name of your website again?
It's Dana Bartone Coaching.
Simple enough.
It's pretty easy.
Love it.
And so it's up now. So
okay, great.
It's up, and people can inquire through there.
Okay, great.
The phone number that's on there is my cell.
Wow.
So you can text just for a quick question. But if it's a situation where you're thinking you might want to have a conversation, then you fill out the form and it comes right to my email.
Great.
But yeah, I do have my Instagram is Dana Bartone Coaching. So is my Facebook. It's all pretty simple and
great.
It's
so exciting.
So I think we covered some really great stuff. And if anybody has specific questions,
Yes.
I could talk all day.
I could too.
I'm very passionate about all of this. So
I know. And it's so helpful. I do think in this world, like we need different forms of help or just guidance or support. And I think, the work that you're doing is amazing. And I love that, on your journey in your second act, you're really doing things to help others. And and you are always helping others like look good and feel good on the inside out. And now I think it's just an extension of that and the work you're doing. And I think it's lovely.
I appreciate that. I say I flipped the script, I was really trying to help women feel good about themselves, and when we look good,
you do feel good.
We all have some level of vanity in us.
Yes,
and you feel
course.
good. But then I got like, I really want it to be in here,
deeper.
And then you tend to look better if you feel better.
You do.
Anyway, so.
You do, and I think a lot of that is the self-confidence, and whatever that is. It's not just I look pretty, but it's like knowing that you are worthy.
You're just being you,
exactly.
And whatever. So I mean, if I can take one little second, and I know you said we don't really look at the screen. But if I can speak to your audience for
go right
just
ahead.
One
right into
second.
The camera there, the little one.
Okay, so the only thing that I want to say is whether you think you need a coach, don't need a coach, need a therapist, don't need a therapist, think of any of that. The one thing I can assure you is you're doing great no matter what you're doing. It's not all bad and it's not all good. So I can imagine that you're not in as bad a shape as you think you are. So, take that and believe that. Believe that. Look at the good. Start there, and then just think about what you might want to improve.
That's so helpful. I mean, even like hearing a positive message like that, you don't hear that often sometimes, and we all need that reminder. So
everybody needs that reinforcement. So
I agree. Thank you so much, Dana. And I'll have to have you back on, and we'll talk like a year from now where we are. We'll be in totally different places. Who knows, right?
Maybe we'll be in like Hawaii doing your podcast. Who knows?
Exactly. We'll have another whole group that we're working with and helping others. I love it. All right. Well, thank you so much, Dana.
My pleasure.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much, and I'll make sure you have all of her information. And until next time, God bless. Thanks so much for listening. Be sure to subscribe to Second Act Sessions on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you tune in. And if today's episode resonated with you, consider leaving a review. It helps more than you know and makes it easier for others to find these stories and start their own second act.